Let's talk about a player who goes by the name of Levi Onwuzurike. You might be wondering, Jackson, you notoriously mispronounce everyone's name. How do you know Onwuzurike's name? He was some second round pick. Why are you even making a video on him? Well, Onwuzurike was actually kind of a darling of a lot of people in the draft evaluation. A lot of people felt like he was massively getting slept on and deserved to be a lot higher of a draft selection than he ended up actually going. Not everyone. He was still 61st on the consensus big board, so it wasn't like people, everyone was crazy about him or anything like that, but there certainly were people who were excited about him, one of them being myself. So I was very excited. I thought it was kind of going to be a steal. I thought we'd look back and say, wow, Lions really got a great selection there with, pick 41, getting a first-round talent. Hasn't worked out that way. In fact, he's really struggled to make an impact at the next level, so I kind of had almost written him off. However, every week I, look at the PFF grades of a lot of different teams just to try to get ideas of who I should make a video on, and one guy's PFF grades really stood out. Right here, this is Onwuzurike's Pro Football Focus grade for each of the 3 preseason games he played in significant playing time, 84 total snaps. He had a grade of nearly 90 in his first game against the Giants, went down against Jacksonville, but still an above average graded game there, and then a very respectable, I would even go as far as to say good game against Carolina, where he had a 75.6 grade, and the pass rush grade was 83.6. Run defense wasn't so great, but pass rush was very good, which, again, if you're just a good pass rusher, well, okay, you can still work with that, even if that's what it is, although, in previous games, he had been as good of a run defender, if not better, so maybe just a couple of bad snaps. So, for Carolina, that's the game we're going to be talking about today. How well did he actually play? Is this just PFF being weird, or did he legitimately look good out there? Well, right off the bat, this was one of the first plays of the game for Onwuzurike, and he's going to show something here where he's going up one-on-one against the right guard, and this is going to be a pass blocking play. It's going to be a passing play. Right when the play begins, you see Onwuzurike. One of the things that he, was so successful at the college level was using his hands. He was a bit undersized at just 290 pounds for an interior defensive lineman. That's a little bit lighter than most of them are. Not massively so, but definitely a little bit on the lighter side. But he kind of made up for it with his hands. What he's doing here is he has that right hand and he has it on the left side of the right guard's body. And then watch what he's going to do because of that. Onwuzurike gets his left arm over and he gets completely through, nearly had a straight shot to Bryce Young. That's a great play. I mean, that's a quick pressure from the inside. These are the things we saw him do at the college level, so the fact that he's kind of showing flashes of doing it at the NFL level is, exciting, even if it is just the preseason. The player he's doing this against is Chandler Zavea, who was a 4th-round pick of this past year. So, okay, not exactly going up against a superstar here, but it's not some undrafted free agent from 5 years ago who's just filling out a preseason depth chart either. Like, he's probably going to be on the roster for the Panthers this year. This plays another one, again, going up against Zavela, I believe is actually how you say his name. Again, like I said, I'm not the best with names. You know this if you watch this channel. Anyway, going up one-on-one against Zavela, watch what he's going to do. Right when this play begins, you see that immediately he's going to try to use his power, which again, you might say, wait a second, isn't he a bit undersized? Probably trying to use your power here might not be the best move. You're going up against a guy who, Zavela has over 30 pounds on Onwuzurike, assuming Onwuzurike is the same weight he was in college. So that seems like a bit of a mismatch. We'll watch Onwuzurike be able to just drive Zavela further back. Eventually Zavela was able to hold on just at the last second, just when he had to, allowed Bryce Young to get out, but still showing off the strength there. And honestly, that's a lot of how Onwuzurike would win at the college levels. He could use his strength to a pretty big benefit. This next play is interesting. I brought up the running grade not being particularly great for Onwuzurike, and it's true. It wasn't particularly good. When I watched the tape, he deserved a lower grade. This time, it's going to be a double team. So, okay, bit of a tough situation, although I should mention, it's kind of a double team, but really the guard's going to pretty quickly get off of Onwuzurike. Like, watch how when this play begins, the double team certainly helps kind of get Onwuzurike out of position, but really, the left tackle is the only guy who's blocking him right here. And as you see, left tackle drives him way out of the way. Worth mentioning, that left tackle was Akeem Ekwonu, who is, really good as a run blocking tackle. So, I think it's kind of really towards the end of last season, Ekwonu kind of showed what he can do. So, I wouldn't necessarily be devastated if I'm a Lions fan, but yeah, Ekwonu got the better of Onwuzurike there pretty massively, I would say. Also, this play to talk about, 3rd down and 4, and I do think that there is, again, I just see potential in Onwuzurike. Like, I do. Like, I see him having some really good moments, I think, and this is going to be an example of it, where he's going up one-on-one against the left guard this time. So, okay, let's see what he can do here. Worth mentioning, this is Brady Christensen, who I believe will be the starting guard for Carolina. So this is a starting caliber player. This isn't just some scrub, right? This is a good player. Right when this play begins, you see how Onwuzurike, gets engaged in the contact. Doesn't seem like anything's great right here. You're not like, oh my God, this is about to be a disaster for Christensen. But Onwuzurike once again has that right hand kind of where he wants it. And watch this quick hand work. As you see, he basically throws Christensen to the side, nearly gets to the quarterback, just a hair too late, ends up being a touchdown. But again, you do this enough times, there's going to be times when you're not late and you're able to get to the quarterback. And these are against starting caliber players. I don't know exactly what to make here of Onwuzurike. I don't. You could argue several different ways. It is just 80 snaps in a preseason performance. In fact, if you look at his preseason performance from 2021, he actually graded even better in that year, although admittedly only half of the snaps. So, and wasn't necessarily getting as many, I think, first team reps in that situation as he was here. So, not to mention, we'll have better, I think, talent around him this year, at least on paper, Onwuzurike will. So that's optimistic. But, he had a rough rookie year. He did. There's no denying that. He then got hurt all of his second year. And sometimes when that happens, people kind of just assume that you're going to be a bust because, well, been in the league for 2 years and haven't been able to succeed. But you could also argue the other way that interior defensive linemen do often take a year to really develop. And then in year 2, we just didn't get to see him play. Like, even if he doesn't end up being the star we thought he could be, you could maybe even at least see like a Jeff Okudah situation of like, that was a similar situation. Hyped up coming out of college, sucked year 1, and then got hurt year 2. And in year 3, he was able to be a contributor. Not a star, but a fine player. Maybe that'll be the case of Onwuzurike, which would still be a benefit. It's still good to have contributors. So, and not to mention, there is a higher ceiling than that, of course. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.